Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Appreciate you guys so much for coming through for this video. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking about the AP Top 25 poll, some of the changes that's transpired and what led to some of those changes, as well as, my input on, whether or not I feel that that was, about accurate or just, a couple of those where maybe I feel that I would have put certain teams higher, all that great stuff. So, yes, we're going to be talking about the college football Top 25 right here, right now. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. And so, the biggest thing here is that, as you can see here, that Georgia rises to the number 2 spot. Obviously, Alabama was number 1, and they show that there's no doubt in that. I mean, if anybody's doubting that, they just didn't watch anything about the game. But yeah, they steamrolled the University of Miami. Wasn't even close. And Miami was supposed to be a top 25 team. So we'll see where Miami's going to end up at. But number 2 is Georgia. And yeah, they beat Clemson. And it wasn't pretty, but the defense really went out there and showed that, hey, this defense is going to be a defense to be reckoned with all season long. Matter of fact, the defense was responsible for the lone touchdown in this game. And that made the difference in which they were able to beat Clemson 10-3. And so we have them at number 2. And so UCLA, Virginia Tech, they're going to be some of the teams that, that does enter this top 25. I mean, UCLA, they look pretty impressive in their win over LSU, as well as when you think about Virginia Tech and then them beating North Carolina. I wonder if that's I think that was more of just probably North Carolina maybe not being as good as we thought they were. I know they started off ranked number 10 last season. Well, to start off this season, I should say. But, yeah, that's clearly not the case. They're, in my eyes, not a top 10 team, at least not right at the moment. But let's go ahead and see how these lists stack up and where each team's going to be. So we'll go ahead and go through this. All right, so the AP Top 25 for Week 2. So as you can see, Alabama got 59 first-place votes. The only other team that received the first-place votes was the University of Georgia. And they received 4. And so Georgia's going to be second. And I understand beating a team like Clemson, that's the most impressive victory you can say that happened thus far. Both Ohio State and Oklahoma, they had wins, but it was a lot closer than many people like. Ohio State at number 3, I feel like that's the right call. So far, with Bama being 1, I'm in agreement with that. Georgia being 2, fully on board with that. I mean, I do feel like there are some concerns on the offensive end, but you cannot argue beating Clemson. And so we'll see the adjustments that they make moving forward. But they're definitely, in my mind, they're going to have to make some more improvements on offense if they want to contend with Bama for that number 1 spot. Putting Ohio State at number 3, I feel like as the season goes on and, CJ Stroud goes out there and continues to improve, I feel like, sky's the limit for this team, especially in the Big Ten. So I think 3 right now is good for them. Now, Oklahoma, they almost choked. I mean, they almost lost to Tulsa. I mean, that was an insane, crazy good game. Did not expect it, but man, yeah. If I'm Oklahoma, I'm a little concerned, but we all know Oklahoma, they can score, so I expect that this season, we all know what the defense is going to basically be. That's just traditionally what Oklahoma is. So putting them at number 4, I can understand that. Texas A&M, when it comes to Texas A&M, having them at the number 5 spot, we know, obviously this year, no Kellen Mond, but so far, putting them at number 5 spot, I can see that, I can see that right there. Now, number 6 is where we get interesting because personally, I know that both Notre Dame and, Clemson, both of those, Clemson, Notre Dame won, but Clemson lost to Georgia. But, their offense did not look good at all. Like, that offense looked like it's going to need a lot of work to be done, honestly. And I wonder if a quarterback change is going to be what's going to be needed. But putting them at number 6, I can understand that because it was a loss to Georgia. So I can understand putting them at number 6. But to me, Notre Dame personally looked better than Clemson did. I think Florida State just, really showed that they're going to be a team that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. Maybe Florida State might make a return this year. Who knows? But I think that what I'm saying is I think that when Notre Dame played Florida State, I feel like it wasn't that Notre Dame was having a bad game. It's that Florida State was just having a good game, especially as the game went on. Florida State was just having a good game. Whereas you look at games like, Oklahoma, that was more so on Oklahoma. You look at Clemson, I think Clemson's offense is just purely that bad. I don't think Notre Dame's defense is going to be that way, the entire season. But I think Clemson's offense just looked that bad. So we'll have to see how they look, against some of the other teams, particularly in their conference. Putting Cincinnati at number 7, I like it right now, especially what we saw, last year with Cincinnati, so I'm okay with that as well. Notre Dame at 8, can't argue that. And so Iowa State, putting them at number 9 versus Iowa at 10. I can either or, in my opinion, in terms of, Probably I would have probably put Iowa at number 9, and then Iowa State at number 10, just from how impressive Iowa looked in their victory. But I can see that either way. Now, number 11 being Penn State. I can only understand that simply because, Penn State in their game that they played, against Wisconsin. I feel like Wisconsin had every opportunity to win that game, but yet they found a way to lose. Twice in the first half, they were made it to the red zone and was unable to convert. You had a blocked field goal. You had a lot of mistakes on Wisconsin. So Penn State won the game, but I think that was more of Wisconsin dropping an opportunity there. It took Penn State a while to get going. So personally, I probably would have still had Oregon above Penn State. But that's just me personally. I know Oregon versus Fresno State, it was a close game, a lot closer than they would have liked. But yeah, but I get it. Wisconsin was still a ranked team, so I get putting them at number 11. Can't argue that too much. They've got Oregon 12, 13, University of Florida. And so putting them 13, USC 14, I can see that. And then 15, Texas. Yeah, Texas, their win over Louisiana, that was a very impressive win. I thought that game might have been a little closer, but I like it. And then UCLA, I love the massive jump here for UCLA. Absolutely love it there. I mean, they're looking pretty good right now. I like what Chip Kelly's doing with this team. And so I'm excited to see how this team is going to continue to go throughout the rest of the season. This team is a team that does come in with a lot of potential. That was a very nice win versus LSU. And so we'll see how they continue to go from there. 17, Coastal Carolina. I like it. Now for me, 18, Wisconsin, 19, Virginia Tech. I'd put Virginia Tech above Wisconsin personally. I mean, they had a very nice win over North Carolina, especially coming in against the number 10 ranked team to open up the season. They came out ready. They forced some turnovers, was able to win that game. I personally would have them above Wisconsin right now, but they've got Wisconsin 18. They've got Virginia Tech 19. Ole Miss being at 20. Okay, Ole Miss at 20. I could definitely see that. Utah at 21. Miami at 22. I mean, I know that they played against Alabama, but they did not show me a single thing. Like, I get it. I mean, it's lots of teams lose, like a lot of times you'll see teams like maybe in Auburn probably lose to, Alabama or something like that, but the game's a lot more competitive. And you see that, from other teams. But what I saw out there, I didn't see a team that showed me any fight. I didn't see a team that showed me very much. Would I still keep them ranked? Yes, but 22, I don't know. I probably would have swapped them and North Carolina, honestly, and probably put North Carolina at 22 and then put Miami at 24. But can't argue that. They did play against Bama. We've got to see how they look, moving forward. But it did not look pretty at all. Arizona State at 23. Okay, North Carolina, mentioned them already. But, yeah, that was a big loss. And, I mean, for me with North Carolina, I wonder just how well, their quarterback, how good he is. I know that he's been pretty hyped up this offseason. But we're going to learn a lot about how this North Carolina team is going to be able to bounce back from that upsetting loss. And if they want to save their season, they're going to have to go out there and perform moving forward. So putting them at 24, I probably would have put them at 22, but yeah, 24. Okay, we'll roll with that. Then Auburn at 25, I like this one. Auburn at 25, I do like that. And so looking at some of the other teams that received some votes, TCU, they had about 80 votes. North Carolina State, they had 69 votes. UCF, 61 votes. So LSU, they had 57. Liberty, 57. I like this Liberty team. Michigan, 52. I know Michigan beat Western Michigan, but this is certainly a team to keep an eye out for because Michigan, from what I saw, it seemed like they finally got a quarterback that can pass. So that's a team that I certainly would keep my eye out for moving forward. We know Oklahoma State, very offensive team. Indiana with 37 votes. And so, yeah, just looking through this. So, yeah, even Florida State got 4 votes. Florida State played a tough game. So if Florida State can get some wins together, and if they can play the way that they did against Notre Dame, they will get some wins and they will be contending in that ACC conference. I mean, honestly, I know that they lost, but they were certainly a bright spot. Them and Virginia Tech were some of the few bright spots in the ACC in the week one. And week one was definitely a devastating week in the ACC, But, of course, as always, I want to hear from you guys. How do you guys feel about the top 25? Which team should be higher? Which team should be lower? How do you guys feel about some of the teams that's up here that's in the top 10 particularly? Georgia, does their offense concern you? Clemson, are they still probably ranked too high or maybe too low? Let me know your thoughts on them. Notre Dame, all those teams. Definitely let me know your thoughts on these teams. And, hey, You know, week 1 was a very nice week to kick things off. I know our primetime matchup in week 2 is going to be Ohio State versus Oregon, 2 teams here ranked in the top 15. Ohio State at number 3, Oregon at number 12. So going to be looking forward to that one, guys. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if you guys enjoyed it. You know, if you guys enjoyed it, then I'll certainly be continuing to make even more of this, you know, but certainly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe to the channel because I appreciate all the support. I really do. It helps the channel. It helps, you know, being able to, you know what you guys really enjoy here. And just the more people we have involved in this journey, the better it is. So I really appreciate you guys and all the support there. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and see you guys next video.